What is up guys, it is Aaron, welcome back to the channel. Today you might be noticing some camera differences. That's because I got a new phone. I'm going to be using that for videos because the camera quality is slightly better than my Huddle. It's slightly better, as you can tell the camera is more smoother, it's 30 FPS, not 60 FPS unfortunately. But yeah, today we're going to be doing the simple wiring for my electric go-kart. So in this video basically, as you can tell by the title down below, it is basic circuits I'm covering today. Basically just going to be telling you guys what a basic circuit is, what simple circuit, what SPDT switches are, and that kind of stuff, just how to wire them up, know which is which, know symbols for basic circuits and that kind of stuff. So you might be wondering what an SPDT switch is. Basically that's just another big word that really means nothing. Basically all it means is just on and off switch. That's really all it means. So that's quite simple in that retrospect. These are all just basically bunches of SDTT switches, which is again just on and off switches. There's different types of SDTT switches, which is why there's some called SPDTT. I'm not sure what that stands for, but basically they all just mean, well, those two just mean on and off switches. I think there's one linear and one non-linear. These are non-linear, so that's SDTT. Linear is SPDTT, I think. So what you're really going to need to do this video is just for basic circuits, obviously, not what I'm doing, but just for basic circuits in general. What you're going to need is a nice little set of wire strippers. This is also doubled as wire cutters, if my camera's focusing on that. And also one of these things, I have no idea what this is called. Basically this is for the safety, well, the start on and off switch for the batteries. What we need is alligator clips and wires. I got these for like $2.99. I got a pack of 10 of them for extra length as well for like $5.99 off that, not Amazon, eBay. That's what it is. And what you're also going to need is just spare wire from around the house and also a screwdriver. Before we can go into all that stuff first, it's one thing to do it, but then it's one thing to know what's going on there. So that's why I've got paper up here. I'm just going to go bring you guys in close to each bit of paper and explain each tiny bit of basic circuits. So you might be wondering, what does a basic circuit look like on paper? Quite simple actually. That is your basic circuit on paper. Now obviously that is not just it. There's obviously different symbols and everything, and I'll go through the different symbols, but basically battery symbol is that. And that basically means positive here, negative here. That's why they're single and double. Then obviously for a motor, it's just basically a circle with an M on the inside and the wires one on the outside. There you go. So that's the two basic, kind of showing you guys what a battery is, what a motor is down on paper. Also, what a LED is on paper is again a circle. But instead of putting an L in the middle or something like that, you put a cross in to show that it is an LED. And now the switches, the SDTT switches are very, very simple as well. Basically it's just a line with a little dot, another line going up, and another line going across, and a little dot there. So basically that's going to be your switch right here. These are just the wires, again, from this part here. I'm just going to go for an arrow like that. And basically that's just your on and off switch. So obviously when you turn it on, that'll be connected up, and when it's off, that'll be going up like that. And if you guys are following along, well done so far, because this stuff is kind of complicated, but this is very basic. I'm breaking it down for you into very, very simple. There's much more detail that goes into each and every single one of these little bits here. Also, for a resistor, which is normally used in these circuits, I'm not going to be using it for reasons I still have to figure out for, but just in general, this is what a resistor will look like in a circuit. It's just it's basically just that. Now, taking into account what I just explained before, basically my batteries are going to be here, and there's going to be around about 8 of them. So it's going to be a little bit there, a little bit there, up, negative, boom, then positive. This might take a wee while. And you get the point. I'm going to run out of room obviously, so I'm just going to have, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Around about 6, 7. So I almost have room for them, but not quite enough. So what I'm going to have is a couple of these SDTT switches going off here this way. There's going to be a little dot there, like I showed you before. It's going to be going up the way, and then there's going to be another line coming off, and then there's going to be that dot there, and then that's your first SDTT switch, which will be, where did I put it? So this switch here, it'll be this one, so that wouldn't be wired in series with that. And then my next one will be, which one again? Oh yeah, this will be another switch, SDTT switch. So there's going to be a little dot there, so on and so forth. So you basically get the idea. And then this switch here is this one, so the one you're going to have to flip up. And then there's going to be a couple of these in series. I'm thinking around about 5. So times that by 5. 5 of them in series along this way. And then there's going to be this switch. Now this switch is slightly different because you can see that there isn't just 2 little bits to solder wire onto. So these ones are kind of funny the way that they wire up. So basically these wires get split. How do they get split again? Oh yeah, made a mistake because I forgot that you need to go off and put the both positive and negative through these wires. So basically ignore this bit up here. I'm going to go off and put this back up here. And then this is how this is supposed to be wired. I'm going to bring this back up here like that. The wires go across and they're up and then cross and up. And then it's back that way again. Now this is where this gets a little bit complicated. So that's supposed to go there. Imagine this is down here because I'm tired at the minute, so you're going to have to excuse me for that. This is where it starts to get weird. Now what I was doing up here, go up, put it back down, move that bit back up. Then basically it's just going to be that again. So boo, do. That's the wrong bit again. As you can tell, I'm very tired, so please excuse me for that. I was working 9 hours last night, so just excuse me for that. There you go. So those are those two. That's that basic circuit done. Now what's going to happen is the motor, which is the circle, like I showed you before, will be here. And it's going to go up like that. So basically that is your circuit right here. Now ignore this top bit again, like I said, that was a mistake. We all make mistakes. So yeah, that's basically how this little switch here is going to work and how it's going to be wired up. I completely forgot about that, but just as well it is a high voltage switch. So that's going to go there. The other switches will go here and here. Then once you go off and turn on these switches, times by 5, it's this one here that's going to be times by 5. Because again, each one's going to be going to the front and rear axle on each wheel to say that they're all okay, and there's going to be a little bit of programming into the sensor unit to say this tire's losing grip, and it'll come up on a little screen saying grip, losing grip, basically. So that's a whole other story of wiring and complicated mess. So this is just basically your simple circuit for just now. So like I said before, being able to do it is one thing, being able to put it onto paper is another. Now this time I'm going to be swapping those two on its ends. So basically I'm saying right now, so right now you can put it on paper, but can you do it in real life? That's something that pisses me off about some schools, is everything's done on paper and nothing's done hands-on. So basically I'm just going to do a time lapse of me putting the circuit together and just showing you guys how simple this actually is. Okay, so that is the basic circuit finished finally. It might look like a whole lot of crap and wires, that's because it is at the minute. So as you can see, I have 2 wires that are wired to nothing. Where's the other one? Here we go. So this side is positive, this side is negative. So then once you go off and connect them up, when there's a battery in, that'll complete a circuit. I'll just go off and get the battery. I'm using my LiPo, wherever the fuck it is. Oh yeah, there you go. My LiPo safe bag. You should also go off and check out one of these bags as well, LiPo safe bag. These will basically, they're not fireproof, but they will basically decrease the damage of LiPo fires. So make sure that none of these wires are touching, especially the ones near the battery. I'm actually going to go off and move this to the floor so everything's spread out properly. This is the circuit that you guys just saw on the white piece of paper on my wall. Now you might be wondering, Aaron, how do you figure out if it's going to work properly and figure out if it's going to work properly and do it safely? Basically what I'll do is, this is 0.3 millimeters of soldering iron, well solder. What I'll do is I'll go off, get this, fold it in half, and then start twisting the wire. There you go. And what this does is it creates some resistance in the solder. So it'll last a few seconds, but then it will melt, which is what you want. You want it to melt. You don't want it to just suddenly go up in flames or whatever. So this creates some resistance on the wire and stops it from going up in flames, basically, when you twist it. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, the twists don't have to be perfect, but it's just in case something bad does happen. There you go. And there you go. Now before you even think about putting the battery in, you want to make sure all your switches are off. I know that one's off, this one's off. But that green switch is the main one you want to watch out for to make sure that it is off. Now what I'm going to do is going to go off and take my battery. Make sure that these wires are as far apart as they can be from each other, because you don't want these two wires touching. Try not to electrocute yourself when you wire them up. I am very bad for electrocuting myself before trying to do this. It hurts like fuck, especially if it's a 3S LiPo, so there you go. I haven't electrocuted myself so far, good. This switch, and this switch is the pain in the butt for turning on, because you'll be like, oh, I got to turn it on, I got to turn it on, but no, hold it at the side, flip that switch on, nothing's on fire yet. That's good. Can you guys see the solder? The solder is right here. My camera light is very bright, so sorry if you can't see the solder properly. That is now on. You can go off and flip up this switch, and if I turn this on, should start to melt. Well then, go for number 2. And hopefully again this should melt. And is it gonna melt? Oh, yep, something's happening. The wire's moving. Yeah, there you go. Starting to melt. I'm gonna go off and turn that off. But yeah, you can see that it was starting to melt. I'm not sure if my camera picked up or not, but there was a little bit of smoke, and these wires are hot as fuck. But yeah, that's basically how the circuit is going to work, except me trying to burn something, well, melt something. It's going to be a motor, so if I go off and disable the battery, there you go, and turn off that switch there. And that's basically how that circuit is. Fucker! Sorry, yeah, but that's basically how the circuit is going to work. For the weird angle, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I really have. If you guys have enjoyed this video as much as I have had making it, please hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos. This is just episode 1 of the go-kart build, and I can't wait to do more of these kind of videos. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!